Hello guys, and welcome back to round 3 of the Grandmasters League. Sorry for this video being a little bit delayed. I was a bit busy yesterday afternoon and I couldn't finish the videos in time, I'm sorry. But I can guarantee you today there will be 3 videos uploaded. The second game between Viper and FeAge, continuation of yesterday, and the 2 games that will be coming up between Chris and Ming. Some exciting stuff, definitely. And yeah, first of all, we'll have a look at this game and see how it went. As we well know, FeAge did lose the first game to TheViper, which was kind of unfortunate for him in that Mayan war on a Regicide Fortress. If you didn't see that, then I'm sorry I just spoiled it, but you can click down to the bottom right now and you can go and watch that game if you want to. Otherwise, you can watch this game here, which is game 2 between these 2 guys. They're both playing as FeAge playing as Aztecs and Viper playing as Mayans. So we've got Aztecs versus Mayans, kind of interesting, and we'll see how that one actually turns out for them. But one thing to note is that this is FeAge's home map. He's chosen to play against TheViper on Arabia, and I know for a fact that the Brazilian guys especially love playing as Aztecs on Arabia. We've seen that really strong strategy from them, where we get the fast Imperial with the Eagle Warriors coming up, and that is something that we see a lot of. But look at this, Viper going to be coming in right now with his Eagle Warrior. I don't know if he's planning on doing anything fishy here, because in his interview I do remember saying that he was planning on laming FeAge, and it looks like he's going to do exactly that. No way, he's going to go and steal both of FeAge's boar. That is genius, having to hit both of them twice in order to get them to follow, and now running away with 2 HP on his Eagle Warrior, a very, very fast steal, and that is going to screw FeAge over so heavily. Look at this Eagle Warrior gonna run right back to Viper's base. He's gonna have to be very careful, got to zigzag it around. He's also stolen 2 of FeAge's sheep, which is not good, and so Viper's gonna run this back. If he can keep his Eagle Warrior alive, then he is actually going to be able to drop these 2 boar off at his TC, and he'll be able to gain 4 boar, because look, he's got 1 here and he's got 1 somewhere over here as well. So that means 4 boar for the Viper if he manages to get these back without taking another hit to his Eagle. Technically he should be able to do it, because the boar are slower than the Eagle Warrior, but the Eagle Warrior, if it gets too far out of range, will mean that the boar will go back. So he's got to be very careful. He's bringing them in now. 2 HP left on his Eagle. If he keeps this guy alive, I'm going to be very surprised. In come the villagers, and there we go. Both boars about to be hit down, and there we go. Eagle inside the TC, and these boars are going to be harvested right under that town centre. And what an amazing steal from the Viper. I don't think I've ever seen a 2 boar steal in all of the time I've been watching recorded games. That was absolutely awesome, and for those of you who don't realise how much of a difference this is going to make to the game, I tell you what, it's going to make a huge difference. The only downside for the Viper is scouting. He's not really scouted that much, whereas FeAge will have a lot more scouting opportunities now. Viper's got to keep this Eagle Warrior alive. Really important that he does that. And if you're wondering why it's got 3 HP now as well, it was in the town centre, which gave it a little bit more HP as it heals it up over time. But Viper's now going to need to explore the map and find out what's going on. So he just needs to keep the Eagle Warrior alive. But what an amazing steal from him. 2 boar extra, and FeAge, well, he could go and do the same to the Viper. He could steal 1 boar, or even this boar would be easiest. But that was really unfortunate for him, and now FeAge going to be at a huge disadvantage. Now, I know for a fact that I've had real troubles before when I've not been able to find 1 boar, let alone 2, and you've got to imagine now FeAge is going to be so hard pressed for food. After these sheep are gone, well, he's got absolutely nothing left. He can go for deer, but unfortunately his map's really bad for that. His deer are right at the front, really far out of the way, and it would be a bit risky to make a mill here in case the Viper decides to go for a drush, which could be pretty bad for him. And so FeAge going to have to oversaturate his berries. He's going to have to get out extra farms, and he is going to be really delayed actually here at the start of the game. Viper is going to gain himself an extra 660 food for free. I think 680 food for free, which is absolutely something to be quite happy with, and that's going to give him a huge advantage advantage in this game, and I'm amazed how well he managed to do that. FeAge though, luckily just managing to find 2 sheep. I think they may have been the Viper's sheep, bring them back to his base, and that's going to help him out a little bit. But wow, what a great start for the Viper. And it's called laming, but I don't think you can really call it laming. At the end of the day, it's quite an important tournament, and Viper is going to do what he can to win, so fair enough for him. Anyway, as I was saying at the very start, FeAge playing as Aztecs, and that is something that we see a lot of these Brazilian players doing for sure. Aztecs is quite a common civ, or a popular civ on Arabia, with the sort of wall yourself in a little bit, go for a drush because you don't have to get a loom, and then go for a fast castle followed by a reasonably fast Imperial and spamming out those Eagle Warriors. That could work pretty well against the Viper, who is playing as Mayans, and Mayans of course good for their plumed archers, which is something that we've already seen Viper likes to do. So we'll see how it ends up going. I've got to say though, FeAge at a huge disadvantage now, and it's definitely going to be hard for him to get a drush fast castle out of this, because the Viper of course going to be able to castle a lot faster. Of course now he's got all this extra food as well. He's still got another boar to come in. That would make 4 boar in total, which is a huge amount of food and an incredibly fast speed. Actually getting himself housed there, just getting a house up, there we go, and he's actually going to go for a bit of a drush himself, and that is something that you probably wouldn't expect a Mayan player to do. Although you can drush with any civilization, it's not all that common to see Mayans drushing, but it's also not out of the question. And now Viper has all this extra food for free. He's also got a deer patch. Oh, it's not that close, so he's not going to go and take deer, I don't think, but he's actually going to go with a drush now, and it might be a 5 militia drush. Not sure if he's going to go and get another, yeah, he's going to get another 10 gold in, so he's going to go for a 5 militia drush, and FeAge is going to be up for some quick harassment here, and really, for FeAge now, a drush isn't very viable at all. It's going to be quite some time if he does decide to drush before he can upgrade to the feudal age, and that is really going to be a little bit of a problem for him. So here we go, Viper going to be moving out in just a moment with some militia. Of course now he can go for a fast castle behind this because of that extra food boost. He's still got these 2 boar to be taken and 4 sheep as well. No doubt he'll start seeding some farms eventually as well, just to keep his food production coming in. And has an extra 20 gold for another militia. Is he going to go and do that and make 5, or is he just going to leave it at 4? It looks like he's just going to go out with 4. See what he can actually do here. His Eagle Warrior still 4 HP. Wow, so little HP. Somehow it's gained another HP. It might have been in the town centre a bit longer or something. And Viper about to go feudal right now. He's got the population for it, 32 population, and that means he's on 27, something like that, 27 villagers, which is enough to go for a fast castle. And in comes the Viper. FeAge really not walled at all. He's got no walls going whatsoever, and Viper could get in here, attack the berries. He could go for the wood camp as well, and a barracks going down for FeAge now as well. And FeAge is actually up to the feudal age in a reasonable time. Look at this, he's even beating the Viper to the feudal age. Very well played by him, seeding those farms nice and early, realizing he's not going to have the boar, and going up on 27 population. So he's really not doing that bad, considering he did lose the 2 boar here. The militia are going to be a little bit of a nuisance, going to prevent him from gathering from this berry bush at the very least. But FeAge really well done, up to the feudal age before the Viper. But if we have a look at their food count, actually no, saying that, FeAge in the lead with food at the moment, so he's actually doing really good considering the situation he was in. Very well played by him. The only problem now is he's running out of berries. He's going to have extra villagers onto wood to keep seeding his farms, and in the long term it's going to cost him overall a little bit. But FeAge now making some militia of his own, and of course now with that extra gold that he had from the start, he can outnumber the Viper very easily, and he's now up to feudal as well. Let's see what he's going to do here. He's not going to fast castle, I'm sure of that. There's no way he's going to be able to fast castle, sending too many villagers to gold to do that anyway. Well, not too many, but he's usually, if you're fast castling, you'll send 3 to gold. and that is exactly how many the Viper has over here. So what is FeAge going to do? Well, he's going to make more militia for the time being. Is he going to go with a flush? Is he going to add some archers in? He's got an archery range on the way down here. Perhaps he's going to try and pressure the Viper before the Viper goes castle, because he's probably going to assume that Viper is going to do that. We've still got harassment coming in from him, but he's going to lose his militia here, and very nicely played by FeAge indeed, forcing the Viper away, killing off his militia. The only downside for FeAge here is that he is losing villager working time, but it's not so much of a big deal. He's still managed to keep them alive. Just this villager escaping with 7 HP right now, and the Viper is going to be losing his drush here. What is FeAge doing though? Is he going to be making a big flush, or is he going to try and get castle as fast as he can? He's adding in skirmishes right now, but he's got to know that the Viper is going to the castle age pretty quickly. He's got 3 villagers with 4 now on gold down here. He's going to have the required food in just a moment. He needs another 120. And he can up to the castle age really quickly and then start to make those archers. He could go for archer crossbowman, he could start gathering stone and go for a castle drop, but to be honest, his stone not in the best. Oh no, he has got stone over here, so he could do that, but I think he's probably just going to go for archers for the time being. He's got that archery range up already, nearly up to the castle age right now, and FeAge is going to be very rapidly left behind if he doesn't go castle reasonably quickly, but he isn't going to do that, unfortunately for him. He is going to go for skirmishers and archers, I think. Quite a lot of villagers going to gold, well, not quite a lot. He's sending more over there though, so it looks to me like he is going to be going for archers. He's going to be trying to bust the Viper's walls, because perhaps the metagame is telling him, you know, Viper isn't going to wall this up, but Viper has actually walled himself in, and if FeAge can't break through his walls here, and if he can't actually get through and do some damage, then he's going to be in a real bit of trouble. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's going to be in a little bit of trouble, and that is going to be really bad for him. Of course, now he's going to realise that the Viper's walled himself off. This is definitely not a gap in the wall, it might look like it, and he's actually come forwards with man-at-arms, which is going to be very useful to him. He could even take down a building here very quickly if he uses the man-at-arms. Man-at-arms do get through buildings reasonably fast, and Viper now adding in an extra archery range. He could be making some skirmishes to play defensively, or even some archers. Actually, he's going to need archers anyway if he's going for crossbowmen, and it looks to me like FeAge is going to be out of luck here. Viper is going to probably just be able to defend this, though FeAge is going to be attacking downhill. It's going to be interesting to see if he can actually pull this one off, although I'm thinking pretty much impossible at this stage. Viper going to be castle in just a moment. FeAge coming forwards with a couple of villagers. Don't really know what he's going to be doing with those. We'll see very shortly, but look how quickly this barracks is going down. It's already lost a third of its HP, and FeAge is going to be really trying to pile the pressure on here and do some big damage to the Viper's economy before the Viper gets up to the castle age and starts massing some crossbowmen. And he's going to try and do this. He's going to be maybe just be able to get through this this barracks here. Going to be very careful not to lose his men-at-arms. They're really important to keep alive if he wants to take this barracks out. And these two villagers could be going to do something. What's he going to do? What can the Viper see? And it's a tower. Going to be towering this right here, and that's going to be a nice little tower for FeAge. Going to be able to pile the pressure on through here. If he garrisons inside of it, he might just be able to get the barracks down a little bit faster. But the Viper is into the castle age, and as we can see, crossbowmen straight away, as well as bodkin arrow there. And these archers might just be able to clear this up in a pretty quick time. The barracks is going to hold out for just long enough for Viper to get his upgrades done, and it looks to me like FeAge is really going to be out of luck here, sending the skirmishers forwards, sending archers forwards. But if we have a look at his economy, he is really hard pressed here. He is so far from the castle age, and the Viper now being castle, going to have that upgrade advantage, going to have those crossbowmen out on the field, and he might just be able to clean this up. The watchtower just about going up for FeAge might help him out a little bit, but the barracks is just gone down, and it's a little bit too late. +2 attack, +2 range, and crossbowman upgrade all completed, and that does mean that Viper is going to be able to push out here and start to clean this up. A few skirmishers really aren't going to be able to do that much when they're up against crossbowmen. Crossbowmen outrange them, means they can be microed away from them, and without the bodkin arrow upgrade for the skirmishers, it's going to be really hard for FeAge to combat this. Really hard. So FeAge losing those 2 boar at the start, Viper really abusing that advantage, and he's now going to be trying to clean this up as best he can, microing away, very nicely done, trying to hug the high ground as well, and managing only so far to pick off 1 man-at-arms, but he is going to be able to continue production of these crossbowmen. Of course, he's able to add his 2nd TC right there. He may add a 3rd eventually, but right now I think concentrating on getting some crossbowmen out, getting some army on the field, and really starting to pressure FeAge. A fast castle like this is not something that you'd usually see from a Mayan player. Mayan players tend to flush before fast castling, or castling even, and because of those 2 extra boar, that allowed him to do a really fast castle age, and FeAge was slowed down quite significantly at the start, enough so that Viper could wall himself in, prevent any harassment to his economy, and then now push out with this castle age army and see what damage he can do. FeAge probably just going to be trying to mass up some skirmishes and stuff just to keep himself on the safe side for the time being. He is going to need quite a bit more food if he wants to get up to the castle age. Just researching wheelbarrow there, as we can see, going to make him a bit more efficient, reduce the villager walking time so that he can gain a lot more resources. But by the time wheelbarrow is paid off, it's going to be quite a while, and I think FeAge is going to really struggle here, starting to stone wall himself in. Unfortunately for him though, Viper going to come around the side, see this stone wall, and that villager is dead. Viper getting straight into FeAge's base. FeAge a little bit slow with the wall off there, and that's going to cost him big time, because in rolls the Viper, and he's going to be looking to clean this army up as fast as he can, see what he can actually do with these crossbowmen. Bear in mind, he's heavily outnumbered here. 22 ranged units for FeAge, Viper on just 19, some of which are at his base, so he's really heavily outnumbered here. But as you can see, the extra range on his crossbowmen allowing him to snipe these units off before they can even attack him. Great micro from the Viper, trying to do what damage he can to FeAge, taking the high ground as well. And look at this, microing away, hitting, running, and he's going to be able to kill off quite a lot of units here before they can even do damage to him. Trying to focus down the skirmishers as well. As you can see, the skirmishers going to be the biggest problem to him, as they are the anti-archer unit, and if he can take them out, then he is going to be able to actually do so much damage. And look at this, he's actually managing to take out this whole army right here. FeAge bringing villagers over, I don't think he meant to do that, but he did, and there we go. The Viper managing to take out most of FeAge's army with just a few crossbowmen. That extra 1 range really does help when you're trying to micro them, and look at this, it's going to be so close. 4 crossbowmen left, still managing to flatten these skirmishers, and these guys really getting low on HP now. It looks like it's going to be all over for Viper now on this side. His army has been lost, but look, it's 2 on 2. Who is going to take it? This attack advantage is going to really help him out, and it looks to me like Viper is just about going to lose his last crossbowman over here. But wow, he's actually managed to do it. FeAge losing his whole army to about, what, 10 crossbowmen? That was absolutely insane. And now Viper going to have such a huge advantage. He's got plenty of crossbowmen out. He's got his 2nd town centre up, his 3rd on the way, and FeAge still so far from getting castle age. He's looking for it, he's searching for it, he just can't get the food and keep the army production up as well. And now, if he's not walled quickly enough, he's going to find himself in a real tough spot, as Viper will be able to harass his eco very easily, perhaps bring some crossbowmen here and snipe some villagers, perhaps try and get through this centre area. It could be done, and looks like Viper's just trying to push out on various areas of the map now. If he kills this villager before the wall is completed, again, it's so close. FeAge probably should have tried to wall this up a bit faster. Viper going to break through once more, and he's right back into FeAge's base, and look at this now. The score lead says it all. Viper is probably going to end up taking this game, but a very valiant defense from FeAge now. I've got to say, he's done such a good job to keep himself in this game for so long, considering he lost his 2 boar at the start. A lot of people would be GG after losing 1 boar, let alone 2, and actually managing to hold on and stay in this game for so long is absolutely incredible from him, I've got to say. But Viper going to be continuing to make more crossbowmen and continuing to work on his economy. He could even be Imperial before long if this continues, and starting to work on a castle now. I think more villagers going to stone. If you can get a castle drop, then that's just going to secure him the game. But look at this, FeAge now up to the castle age, very, very far behind, but he's still doing it. The only problem is now he's got no army left whatsoever. 2 ranged units is not going to cut it, 2 skirmishers. And Viper managing to do quite a bit of harassment here, killing off various amounts of villagers, killing off more and more crossbowmen coming in to finish up FeAge there. Very unfortunate game for FeAge. He did have his 2 boars stolen at the start, and as I said, it's amazing that he managed to stay in for so long, but those 2 boars really gave Viper a huge advantage, enabling him to fast castle and really make the most of that extra range on his crossbowmen to do a hell of a lot of damage and clean FeAge's army up. Very well played by both, I've got to say. Viper, great game in the first game, absolutely crushing FeAge on the Regicide Fortress, and again taking his boar here secured him that game for sure. So that makes it 2-0 to the Viper, which does, unfortunately for FeAge, mean that he is not going to gain any points whatsoever, and Viper, luckily, or more skillfully I should say, going to gain another 3 points, putting him still very firmly at the top of the table with 9 points, which is so far clear of everyone else at the moment that it looks like it's going to be a runaway, though he's yet to face a few of his bigger opponents. He's yet to face Doubt, he's yet to face Chris. They may be able to take some games from him, but there is no doubt that Viper is the clear leader of this tournament so far, with no games lost and 6 games won. That is quite a record. Let's see if he can continue that in next week. As for FeAge, well, he's going to be finding himself slipping a little bit now with only 2 points. He could be overtaken very shortly, and we'll have to see how that one goes for him next week as well. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will bring you the 3rd set games very shortly, so stay tuned and I will see you guys next time.